Hey guys, Kinsey here, and I'm back with some more pickups. And these are pretty much going to be my pickups from over the spring. And I'm going to start with garage sales, move on to like newer games and I guess conventions. And then lastly, another Square Enix sale. What? They had another one after they just had one? I don't know, but you'll see. You'll see. So to begin with, some garage sales. I recently went garage sailing with Metal Jesus Rocks, and we had so much fun. So, well, we woke up very early, but that's just something you gotta do. But we got coffee, so we were okay. But the first stop we went to, it didn't look super promising for games at first. Well, not game, you'll see. But they did have 2 controllers. I was particularly interested in the Saturn, of course. But they also had an original PlayStation controller. And I probably wouldn't have picked this up, except for the fact that they were both 25 cents! 25 cents! And then I felt bad when I gave her $1 and I got change. I wanted to be like, no, it's cool, it's $1's fine. But, but I got my 2 quarters back. So, you know what? Occasionally, garage sale people, like, they don't know. She was like, oh, that was my son's, he moved out. And I'm like, well, great. They're mine now. That's great. But yeah, garage sale prices, 25 cents each. So that was pretty cool. And then next, not a game, but I was equally excited about it. We went to a bunch of sales after we found the controllers, and we weren't having a lot of luck because, you know, not every sale is gonna have video games, especially when you're looking for something that specific. But we went to a whole bunch, and finally I found a toy from my childhood that I could not leave behind. And that is the travel size of Crocodile Dentist. What? So much anxiety as a kid. I couldn't leave this behind. He was 75 cents. And we walked past the garage sale, looked at everything, we're like, no games, and kept walking to the next one. And then I was like, I'm gonna go back and get that Crocodile Dentist. I hope he's still there. And he was, and he's come home with me, and I have actually played it a lot. He's already, like, earned it, like, he's worth 75 cents now. He's more than paid for his value in the amount of times I've played this game with people now. Worth it. And then next, not super exciting, but I got Ms. Pac-Man on the Genesis. It was just like when they lay out a whole bunch of stuff on, like, blankets. And there was one game. They had, you know, Ms. Pac-Man on the Genesis. And at first I was like, almost didn't ask about it, but then, you know, it's a game. And we had not had a lot of luck. So I asked him how much it was. He was like, $3. And I was like, and I put it back down. And then he was like, whoa. Something less than that? And I was like, $1? And he was like, sold. And I was like, oh, sweet. I'll take it for $1. Why not? I don't have it. I really enjoy Miss Pac-Man because what? Better than Pac-Man. So you know what? For $1, yes, I grabbed it. And then this one's pretty exciting. So we went to a garage sale and they didn't really have any games, but whenever you go to a garage sale, I always ask, you know, hey, or actually, Metal Jesus always asks because I'm a coward. You know, hey, do you guys have any video games? Because, you know, once people have a garage sale, they're kind of in that mindset of, I'm selling crap, I'm getting rid of crap, you know? And they might not even think about putting the video games out if they don't play them, or they just know they have them in a box somewhere. And that's exactly what happened here. She was like, well, I do have an old, like, Nintendo that I don't really play. And then after a while, she's like, well, let me just go get it. And so we got a NES system. And of course I already have one of these, but for the price, I had to take it. So we got the NES system, 2 controllers, all the hookups, and a bunch of games. And so that, you know, includes Ninja Gaiden, Tetris, Super Mario 3, Mario Duck Hunt, of course, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Bros. 2, you know, a couple more sports games. Then we've got baseball, hoops, and side pocket pool. But we paid $25 for the whole thing. And, I mean, yes, please. So what me and Metal Jesus actually did is we kind of went in on went in on everything together. And because we were trying to get deals together, we were working together the whole day. And then at the end, we just kind of split everything up. So this is what I got. And then he also got a Sega CD. There was a 25th anniversary DSi XL, the 25th anniversary of Mario. That one was really cool. But I already have that one, so we kind of divvied everything up at the end, and it worked so well because we just, tag teamed the whole thing. And it worked great. Alright, so next, if you've seen my videos before, you know that I do try to, include some beer in there. Try to pair things. So, the first beer for this is The Optimist by Fort George Brewing. I thought this would be good because, this is just the beginning of garage sale season. And I am optimistic that I'm going to find something else. Because this garage sale was a little bit unique because it was, a whole neighborhood had a garage sale day. So there's way more garage sales than there, typically would be on just a regular Saturday in spring or summer. But I have high hopes for this summer. This is off to a pretty good start, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, back to the beer. And this is, of course, The Optimist, Fort George Brewing, and it's a IPA. It is 6.2% alcohol by volume. Fort George Brewing is over in Astoria, Oregon, I'm pretty sure. But I've actually been to Fort George. Actually, when I went to the Metal Jesus Beach House weekend, which you can see over on his channel, we drove past it. So, of course, I stopped and tried their beer, had lunch there. Their food was great. Their beer was great. And so I'm glad I can buy it, back here in Seattle. So, let's give it a try. It smells good because it smells very light and crisp and citrusy. What I really like about this one is I know a lot of people who hear IPA and are like, no, I don't like IPAs. And I'm like, well, maybe you haven't found the right one because maybe you just don't like bitter IPAs. And this one is actually relatively smooth. It does have a little bit higher alcohol content than I would think from it, actually. So it's 6.2, but it tastes a little bit more like a session IPA. So a little bit lighter, a little bit crisper, a little bit less hoppy. Still, don't get me wrong, though. Those hops are there. But I think it's a very, crisp, quintessential Northwest IPA. And if you don't know, Northwest IPAs tend to be a little bit clearer in color, a little bit crisper, a lot of times way hoppier than ones from the Northeast or anything like that. But they've kind of come into their own as a style, and I very much enjoy them. All right. So next up, it looks like, is games I found at some conventions, or convention, one convention. And so lately I've only been to one, and it was Renton City Comic Con is a Comic-Con that is out here close to Seattle. It's just over in Renton, Washington, and they had a small retro gaming swap meet day. So I definitely made it over to that. And of course I picked up Tornado Outbreak on the PS3. One that was, recommended in one of Metal Jesus' videos, and I didn't own it, so I had to pick it up. I don't know that much about it, but I'm excited to give it a shot. And to add to my 64 collection, I also picked up Paper Mario, or Mario Story, on the N64. This is the Japanese version, and I'm slowly building up my boxed N64 Japanese collection, because the box art is way better, of course, than the US ones. And I got this one from my good friend at BuzzBuzz Games, and she always has the best imports. I just love shopping with her. But so obviously I had to pick this up because it's one I didn't have, and it's in beautiful condition, and of course. All right, and next up, it looks like I just have some new games that I picked up. And first of all, I got Darkest Dungeon, the Ancestral Edition, on the Nintendo Switch. I have heard so much about this game and how it's, really hard, but also really fun. And it just has such cool, game mechanics from what I've heard. Your character can, kind of go crazy a little bit. And I don't know, that sounds cool. I just hope my best characters don't go crazy, because it's also a roguelike, so I'll permanently lose them. So stressful. But I'm excited to give it a shot. And I've been meaning to check it out for a while, actually, but then I found out that it was coming out on Nintendo Switch, and then I found out it was coming out physical on Nintendo Switch, so I had to wait, obviously. But I can't wait to try it. And then the next two are actually ones I got because I was watching Metal Jesus and Reggie's pickups videos, and I actually have a hard time watching those because then I'm like watching them and also online being like, oh, that game looks good. I'm not on my phone, I'm gonna buy it. And then like it's hard to make it through one of those episodes without buying stuff. So I ended up buying the Count Lucanor on the Nintendo Switch because it just looked so cool in that video, so I had to pick it up. I haven't even tried playing it yet, and I can't wait. But I mean, look at this, I have so many games to play. It's ridiculous. But another physical game on the Nintendo Switch, of course I had to buy it. But this is, of course, the PAL version. But I can play it on my system no problem, because I don't think this came out physical in the US at all, or in the US at all. I don't know. But I had to get it, this version, physical. And then, also because of Reggie and Metal Jesus, I got the new Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology on the 3DS. Because this is like kind of a remake, I believe, of one that came out on the DS, but this has like way more content. So if I'm gonna try it out, should probably just get this version. So, and I've been really itching for like a JRPG ever since I played and beat Ni no Kuni. I've been looking for something to kind of fill that gap. I've been a little bit like in the ether of like, I need a big game to play. I just need one. And this I think will fit the bill. So I'm excited to give it a try. All right, what else we got? Okay, so I also got the Bit Trip. This is a limited run game. And I really like Bit Trip Runner and all that whole series, but I don't actually own any of them. I ended up playing them at a friend's house, and I was like, okay, I think I do need to get some of those. And I believe this is the special PAX East variant cover exclusive thing. So, you know what? You attach those words to it, like variant, exclusive, and I'm like, oh, what? I think I need to buy that. It's a curse. It really is. It's a curse. But I have it now. And then lastly, this is actually another one because of Reggie and Metal Jesus pickup video. But I got Undertale. I have heard so much about this game. So many of my friends have played it on Steam. And I just never had a chance to play it because I typically don't play PC games now. I did when I was younger. But now it's just I'm all console now. And it came out physical via Fangamer, and I've just been meaning to play this. Of course, all these are like longer games, so I'm screwed. I'm screwed, but gonna have no time for anything. I'll eventually get to them. I really will. I will. And so it came out physical, so I had to pick it up, and I cannot wait to try it. All right, what else we got? Oh, what? We got a beer. A beer is what's next. Ooh, cracking. So, next up is Juicy Goodness. It's a dry hopped golden ale by Left Hand Brewing Company based out of Colorado. And it is, where's my stats? A dry hopped golden ale, Juicy Goodness, hazy golden ale with tropical flavors and citrus flavors from fruity hops. So that's hops like Citra and things like that. So I think what they're trying to say, they didn't actually put any citrus fruits in here because a lot of hops have that kind of flavor that's just already in their flavor profile. Hops are amazing. You should look them up. But this is 5.5% alcohol by volume, 29 IBUs, so not very bitter. And it just says ingredients, of course, Rocky Mountain water, malted barley, malted wheat, hops, and yeast. That's beer for you. All right, so you know what? Let's give it a shot. That is pretty good. Although, it does talk about like juicy goodness and tropical flavor. I do taste a little bit, like maybe some sort of like papaya-y flavor I kind of taste. but it's not super in your face. And it's a golden ale, so it is gonna be like on the lighter side, but it is really good. I can imagine like drinking this like by a pool. Perfect. Pool beer. Because it does have a very like crisp, clean finish. So something when it's like really warm, I think would be great. But I'm not getting as much like juiciness. There is some citrus and some tropical flavors, but it's definitely not in your face. So if you are not attracted to fruity beers, but you're interested to try more, this one might actually be pretty good for you. It's pretty good. I just drank this whole thing. All right, and then the last stack of pickups that I have, it's way over here, is Square Enix had another sale on physical games. And it actually had some of the games in stock that I missed out on their last physical game sale. So it actually worked out really well for me. Because at first I was like, oh, well, the same ones are going to be sold out. And it's just, you know, more of the same. But I clicked on it anyways, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I'll just kind of run through these. It's a lot of Final Fantasy titles. But I got Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Echoes of Time. I actually haven't played a lot of the Crystal Chronicle games at all, and it's kind of a gap in my Final Fantasy knowledge that I really need to fix. And especially once they started coming out on the DS, I started missing them a lot. So, I got it now. Yeah. And next, I got Final Fantasy Fables Chocobo Tales. I really enjoyed this game. I enjoyed it so much. This game is so cute. But this is actually one of the games that I had stolen when I had my collection stolen about 10 years ago or so. And I think this one was like $3.99 or something like that in the, you know, Square Enix physical sale. So, of course, it's one I'm going to rebuy because I definitely have fond memories of playing it. And next up is one that was completely off my radar for Final Fantasy, but that is Final Fantasy, The Four Heroes of Light. Not one I've ever owned, ever played, ever anything. But I do like Final Fantasy, and you know what? I want to see where they took the series on the DS, so I picked it up. And I'm pretty sure it was $3.99, something like that, but it was definitely under $5. Because I don't know if any of the ones I bought were more than that. Next up is actually a brand new PlayStation game, and it's Final Fantasy Origins, so that includes... Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, sampling beers makes you all burpy. Anyways. But that includes the first Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy II. And there's the remastered editions of them. And I actually thought I owned this, and I almost didn't pick it up. But then when I looked at my shelf, I have like a disc-only copy, and I was like, nah, I'll pick it up. It's $3.99. It is a greatest hits version, but you know what? I'll manage. Because this one is too. And I also picked up Final Fantasy Anthology, so that includes Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy VI on the PlayStation. So of course I had to pick this one up as well. Fantastic games, and they're ones I've been definitely meaning to revisit, because I haven't played these since high school, and that was a very long time ago, so I should really, really go back to these. And lastly, not a Final Fantasy game, what? But the last game I got in the sale for Square Enix is Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness on the PS4, Day 1 edition. And even though it's like Day a Million because it came out a while ago. But I got it now. And I guess one of my gaming sins is I haven't really played a Star Ocean game before. And I think I need to remedy that, especially because I've been itching to play, you know, a JRPG for so long. But now I have a lot in my backlog. So we'll see which one I start with. But I do finally have Star Ocean on PS4, so I am very excited about that. So, that's actually it. That's it. So, those are my pickups for spring 2018. And I'm hoping to go to more garage sales this summer, actually. That's a goal of mine. Between conventions, it might be a little bit difficult, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick it out. So let me know in the comments down below. Where do you find most of your pickups? Do you go to garage sales during the summer? You more of a thrift store person or what? And So thank you so much for watching, and you can find me on the internet at KinsZilla, KinsZilla, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and cheers.